The movie starts with our main guy, Charlie Mate, coming back from a nice trip with his son Anatoly. They reach the city, and Anatoly wants to watch a street performer. Charlie agrees and says he'll join him after parking. But as he steps out, masked men attack, shooting at him. Miraculously, he survives. As he fades, Charlie recalls a memory from his youth, when he got advice from an old mobster, Old Timer, about the crime life. Old Timer warns him, once you're in, there's no way out. Charlie's rushed to the hospital, with doctors struggling to remove 22 bullets. Meanwhile, we meet Tony Zakia, who learns about Charlie's condition. Tony seems tough and mean, making us wonder if he's behind the hit. The news spreads on TV that Charlie, a retired mobster, got shot. Police Captain Marie Goldman shows interest and heads to the crime scene. Meanwhile, in surgery, Charlie remembers when Old Timer was killed by a rival. Consequently, young Charlie, along with his buddies Tony Zakia and Kareem, opt to take down a notorious gangster named Hernandez for murdering their mentor. They pledge to stick together forever before embarking on their mission of revenge. After successfully avenging their mentor, they step into the underworld of the Mafia. In the current timeline, Police Captain Marie Goldman confronts her boss, who suggests dropping the case because Charlie has a mob background, implying they should let them handle their own problems. Ignoring the advice, Marie is determined to probe further, hoping to uncover her husband's killer. She visits Charlie in the hospital but finds him tight-lipped. Leaving the room frustrated, she encounters Charlie's lawyer Martin, accompanied by his trusted friends Kareem and Pat. Later that night, while tucking her son in bed, Marie receives a troubling phone call, leading her to spend the night drowning her sorrows in alcohol over her husband's demise. Meanwhile, Kareem is visibly upset, vowing to seek revenge against the perpetrator. Martin suggests being patient and waiting for Charlie to wake up from his coma. Kareem then asks Martin to stay with Charlie and not leave him alone. Meanwhile, at the hospital, a man disguised as a medical worker sneaks in and shoots Charlie multiple times after pulling out his gun. The sound of gunshots brings the hospital staff rushing to Charlie's room, only to find a dead body. But the victim isn't Charlie. Captain Marie had moved him to another room before the shooting. This incident prompts Marie to set up surveillance outside the hospital the next day. While observing, she sees Tony Zakia visiting Charlie. During the visit, Tony assures Charlie's well-being. Before leaving, Tony discreetly lets Charlie know about the surveillance cameras and police monitoring. Shortly after, Kareem and Martin arrive to take Charlie with them. Marie decides to follow their car. Kareem realizes they're being followed and speeds up, asking a friend for help. With Mary out of sight, Kareem drives the car into an abandoned warehouse where one of Tony's associates is bound to a chair, visibly terrified to the point of wetting himself. Charlie assures him safety if he cooperates. The man confesses he wasn't involved in the shooting, but Tony, Charlie's supposed best friend, ordered his men to attack Charlie. Tony wants Charlie gone for retiring, leaving him to handle their drug business alone, fearing Charlie might obstruct him one day. Charlie is stunned by this revelation. Later, Kareem suggests eliminating Tony, but Charlie hesitates, conflicted by their past friendship and the oath they took. Kareem relents, and they head home where Charlie receives a warm welcome from his family. Kareem returns to his family, but later that night, Tony's men abduct him outside his apartment. The man previously tied up suggests kidnapping Charlie to gain Tony's favor, but his plan backfires as Tony shoots him dead. As a warning, they sever one of Kareem's fingers to send to his family. Charlie, just doing his own thing, is deeply shocked to learn about Kareem's death. He attends the funeral, witnessing Kareem's family in tears. Anger consumes Charlie, and he vows revenge. Before starting, he ensures his family's safety. Later, Tony's men have a party, oblivious to guilt from the previous night's torture. Charlie crashes the party. He gives them a chance to say goodbye before their demise. Identifying one of them as his shooter by his watch, Charlie shoots him, intimidating the rest into submission. The next day, he finds another of Tony's men at the crew's grave and takes him out. Realizing that Charlie is on a vengeance spree, Tony sends his crew to raid Charlie's house, hoping to find him and his family. Luckily, they come up empty-handed. Meanwhile, Charlie is chilling with his faithful cat across town. Martin, the lawyer, arrives at Charlie's wrecked house and rushes to inform him about it. Unfortunately, unbeknownst to Martin, one of Tony's henchmen tails him to Charlie's hideout. Soon, they're surrounded. Charlie, being a badass, fends them off while Martin tries to escape by boat. But he's caught and cornered by one of Tony's men. In the end, Charlie bolts on his motorcycle while Tony's goons give chase. He ends up crashing into a police car, landing right back in custody, face to face with Captain Marie Goldman. In the interrogation room, Marie drops a bombshell from her investigation. She found a bunch of bullets stuck in a wall at the crime scene. In simpler terms, one of the 5 shooters didn't want to kill Charlie at all. Marie decides not to arrest Charlie yet because she believes Tony Zacchia is responsible for her husband's murder. That night, Tony celebrates his daughter's wedding, unaware that Charlie is outside his house. Charlie catches one of his men and demands all data on Tony's drug deals. When Tony finds out, he's furious and orders his men to capture Charlie. Next morning, Pat picks up Charlie's kids from school. Suddenly, a van snatches Anatoly and Eva. Marie arrives too late. But later, they find Eva, who reveals Anatoly will die unless Charlie surrenders. Charlie surprises Marie by getting into her car, asking for a fake news report of his arrest to fool Tony into releasing Anatoly. He promises to surrender once his son is safe. Marie agrees. But Tony, enraged, orders Anatoly's killing upon hearing the news. Without the goon noticing, Charlie follows him on a motorbike to where Anatoly is held. Inside, another one of Tony's men is ordered to kill Anatoly. Instead, he rushes to release him, but then. Meanwhile, Charlie struggles outside, trapped in barbed wire, trying to break free. The goon brings Anatoly out and pushes him into the trunk. Just then, Charlie overpowers him and rescues Anatoly. Back home, Charlie tells his wife they're safe now as he's dealt with Tony's men. The next day, Charlie confronts Tony at his home. Despite everything, Charlie wants to move past it for their friendship. But Tony, hungry for power, still wants Charlie gone. Tony tackles him down and aims a firearm at his face. Seizing the moment, Charlie gains control. Just then, the cops show up and nab Tony for running a drug operation. It appears Charlie assisted Captain Marie in gathering evidence against Tony's drug lord status. Later, when the police interrogate Charlie, they find no proof of his involvement in any drug dealings, so they have to let him go. Outside, Martin greets him, and Charlie asks to go to the spot where he was shot. There, they discover Martin was the shooter aiming at the wall. Feeling betrayed, Charlie points his gun at Martin, who explains he was sent by Tony but couldn't kill Charlie. Charlie, grateful, shoots at the wall to symbolize his gratitude. In the final scene, Charlie and his family enjoy a day at the beach, walking away happily into the sunset. Turn on alerts, like, and subscribe for more videos similar to this one. Thank you for watching.